Welcome back, everyone. I'm Philippe. This is your daily driver for June 11th, 2010. Happy Friday to all of you. And ladies and gentlemen, I am living proof that nothing is impossible when you have no idea what you're talking about. We got three topics we want to cover today, folks. First of all, I want to tell you about the brand new X3, the 2012, which will be here by the end of the year. A quick new product preview there. Number two, I want to tell you about an exciting new program from Mini Financial Services, which just made those minis even more affordable and an even smarter choice. And finally, I want to extend a quick invitation to all of you out there on the interwebs from us at South Bay BMW for a very special event that will be happening next week. Let's get right into it. First, folks, I want to talk to you about the new X3, codenamed the F25. This is going to be a follow-up to our very successful X3 model, which, while a very fine vehicle, is getting a little bit old in the tooth. Just so you know, that X3, the original, was based on the E46 3 Series, a car that originally started rolling off the production lines in 1999, back when Prince was talking about partying like it was. It's a little bit old for a car design, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not afraid to tell you. And these days, products like the Audi Q5 have kind of leapfrogged it, but not for very much longer. The new X3 will be built in South Carolina, unlike the original, which was built in Austria under contract by Magnesteer. It'll roll off the same production line as the X5 and X6. It will be longer by about 3.2 inches, wider by 1 inch and 2/10, and taller by about 1/2 inch. On top of that, the wheelbase will have grown, and as will cargo room. It'll be a much bigger vehicle, more in line with the E53 X5. That would be the original X5, which in turn will make room for the X1 to slot underneath it. So we'll have the X1, 3, 5, and 6, a full range of sport activity vehicles. As far as drivetrain goes, the X3 will feature two familiar 6-cylinder power plants, the naturally aspirated 3-liter, as well as the N55, the single turbo, offering 260 and 300 horsepower respectively. Backing those engines will be the brand new ZF-built 8-speed automatic, which originally debuted in the 7 Series, now is in the 5, and will soon spread throughout the line, but its next stop will be in the 2012 X3. This car will roll off the production lines by the end of this year and should retail in calendar year 2011. The biggest news, however, at least for an enthusiast like myself, is despite all of these improvements, despite the larger size, despite more engine, more transmission that they're offering in this car, it's actually lost weight. 45 pounds to be precise, and any of you know that less weight translates to a better drive, all else being equal. Suspension-wise, you're looking at a familiar setup. If you're a BMW fan, McPherson struts up front, multi-link in the rear. The big change will be the dynamic driving control, which will adjust the damper settings from normal, sport, or sport plus. We've seen this in the 7 and the 5. Now it's making its way down to the X3, and that should make for a more comfortable ride, which, as we know, the original X3 was criticized for because, after all, it is a sport activity vehicle and a BMW. So it rode much firmer than most of the competition. With this adjustable suspension, hopefully, we'll be able to alleviate many of those concerns. All right, moving right along, folks, to the latest and greatest from Mini Financial Services. And I don't want to bury the lead on this. Just because it's the second story doesn't mean it's not equally, if not more important, for all of you out there. Just yesterday, MINIFS released a new slate of program for the 2010 model year. And I can't get into specifics because it'll depend on the exact model, but I will tell you that it's now a 39-month program. These residuals are, at least to this observer, verging on unrealistic. They're very high, which means that you as a consumer will pay much less in depreciation. Also, the rate, the money factor, the effective interest rate is very low, which means you'll be paying less in interest. All in all, it combines to provide a very nice program. On top of that, dealers are well stocked with 2010 models. Unlike BMW, Mini is not yet transitioning to the 2011 model year. They are building 2010s now. Many 2010s are on the lot already, so you have a big selection. Presumably, that should lead to a reasonable pricing scheme, and then you combine these lease programs, and you have the most affordable program for a Mini so far in 2010. The only catch, and it's really not much of a catch, is that you must act before August 2nd. This program cannot be locked, unlike most programs which can be locked for 90 days past the end of the program period. You have to lease your Mini on or before August 2nd, and between now and August 2nd, to take advantage of these programs. Great Great news there. Finally, a small invitation from all of us at South Bay BMW to all of you out there on the interwebs. Please join us next Thursday, June 17th, 2010, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night for the Ultimate Drive event. Many of South Bay BMW customers, in fact, all of South Bay BMW customers, should have received an invitation in the mail like this one. We will be featuring the new 5 Series in a head-to-head comparison with the E350, but you're more than welcome to drive any of the 2011 models, all of which are already on the floor here. I'm talking about the refreshed 3 Series Coupes and Convertibles, the 2011 3 Series Sedans, the 5 Series, of course, the 7s, the refreshed X5s, the LCIs, as we call them, the 35i and the 50i. So you're more than welcome to drive any of those models, compare the 5 head-to-head to the E350, and I can guarantee you that all of you who show up will get a very special gift from South Bay BMW, a special incentive to act soon on a brand new BMW. That about wraps it up for this casual Friday, folks. I think I'm going to take this South Beach suit out tonight and see just how much traction it gets me, and I shall see you next week.